We're making a game where you get rewarded for doing insane stunts while fighting enemies. But you start off with 0 points and basic guns, and as you push to clear levels, you'll soon enough turn into a Terminator. Our main inspiration for this game is to mix elements from The Matrix and Tony Hawk. You gain score by defeating enemies and doing tricks, sort of like a Tony Hawk shooter. So in this video, we'll show you how this game was made and how we would like your help. And when making this game, we also discovered a theory on how to become a millionaire in 1 week. So, to make our game, we downloaded something called ALS, which is a free package that gives you climbing, jumping, animations and other things. To my surprise, I recognized this animation. You know the game Only Up, that was played by the biggest streamers and has sold for at least 3.5 million USD? So do you recognize this animation now? Again, this is a free asset anyone can use. So place objects that go up, climb, and there you go, put it on Steam and become a millionaire. Easy. But rather than joining this list of horrible copycats, we decided to make our own game and put a rifle in this guy's hand. We looked up how to create shooting mechanics in Unreal Engine. It was quite easy to get the rifle working, but when the AI would fire back at our character, we could stand still for minutes without actually being hit. Then it was time to change our character from this bloated balloon look to a dude dressed in black with a cigarette that glows in the dark and some mandatory sunglasses for that killer look, which was okay for our first prototype. And after the character and shooting mechanics were done, it was time to add all the tricks and animations. And so we looked at other videos for inspiration, and here is the result. And once we combined all of that juice, here's what we got. Adding features to a game comes with a cost of performance. So here, for example, if you add a lot of enemies into a level, we noticed a big drop in frames per second, which feels like lag. So our solution was to place these orange spawn boxes. So when a player collides with a box, we spawn a few enemies at a time rather than all of them. And then if you keep placing these boxes all around the map, you still get the same count of enemies, but we solved the issue of lower performance. And then we tweaked the effects when defeating an enemy so it felt right. And to keep rewarding the player for being in motion rather than standing still, we added this sphere, which is what enemies are aiming at. Which means that if you keep moving, they will miss you, but if you're standing still, you'll die. In terms of art, I've always been drawn to that noir look of Blade Runner. So early on, we started to picture this melancholic cyberpunk city. And our main character went from being bald to having a vintage black hat, which then led to the idea that our characters love vintage stuff from the old world, like vinyls, old guns, old radios, and his apartment is decorated with vintage things, but with this cyberpunk theme that keeps dictating his environment. In addition to this, we have a huge nostalgia for old pixelated games like Doom, GTA 3, Star Wars, so we're trying a shader on that reminds of how PlayStation 1 games looked back in the days. And truly it's a hit or miss. I think with the right lighting and atmosphere we can make it look crisp and nostalgic, but it also runs the risk of looking like old crappy graphics. And from this point on we started to build levels with our art direction in mind. Moving on to the weapons of this game. So because our character enjoys vintage stuff, we decided to have classic guns in the game. Like a revolver, a full auto Glock, classic shotgun. Our modular system for the guns makes it very easy to prototype new ones. Here for example, I can modify the rate of fire, amount of bullets and damage. So let's for example say I want to create an Uzi. So I'll change the rate of fire to a low digit and the amount of bullets to 32. And this is getting close to an Uzi. At the current stage we have 4 guns, 3 rifles and 2 shotguns. But as we progress in development we felt the lack of sci-fi details. So at some point soon we're either going to modify these existing guns to be a bit more futuristic, sort of merging that vintage look with sci-fi details both in the visual and feel of the weapon. I'm also a big fan of crazy weapons, so it would be fun to experiment with adding for example a gun that if you charge it long enough it will release a homing bullet zipping through 3 enemies, and obviously grenades will be added in here as well. One of our main inspirations was Tony Hawk. They had a very addictive score system, and this was something we wanted to draw inspiration from to our shooting game. So right now how it works is that you can do tricks and you get score, but your score does not get collected unless you get a kill. So here for example we do tricks and then we defeat an enemy, and you can see your collected score goes up to the left corner. The more enemies you defeat in a chain, the higher your multiplier value will get. This score system is one of the major points where we need your help to finish the game. So we're starting up a Discord community where we'd like to hear your ideas and feedback for this and future games we're going to develop. We're also going live with a Patreon page where our supporters get access to our lab channels where we encourage and support learning game development. And if you're wondering when will this game be done, a closed beta is available now. So come and join us in our community and help us get this launched.
I'm going on an adventure!
Okay, now let's play the game. Oh damn.
Yeah, baby. I like the way the blood sprays all over the place.
Ja. Nej!
This feels like some Duke Nukem versus Matrix Cyberpunk.
Jag blir stressad och såna här grejer.
I know there's this barrel here. Oh.
Jump!
I'm moving this barrel. Oh yeah.
That's an angry dog there.
I got 4,200 points.
Whoa! Yeah. This pickup is massive.